welcome to the Engerati studio. I'm Rose Bundock and I'm joined now by Ferry Cserep, CEO of Dutch company Netinium. Ferry,
hello. Hi Rose.
welcome back.
Yeah,
we were here last year chatting.
Yes. Let's do it again.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to focus our discussion on data platforms, the role of platform plays in the DSO sector. You have a particularly defined business case for data platforms that focuses on return on investment, the lowering of OPEX. And I just wondered if you can explain a bit more about your approach to data platforms and where you see the value for your end customers.
Yeah, well, we are in the game of digitalization of the electricity grids and people's homes, right? And so we'll get all kinds of digital assets like smart meters and maybe in the homes, heat pumps and batteries and so on. But you want to monetize those assets. But if your operational expenses are going to keep equal tread with the rollout of your technology, your ROI is going to be marginal. Now, if you have the ability to let's say lower your operational expenses, you will gain, of course, a better profit. And I give you an example of something that is very illustrative for this case. If you roll out 5 million meters, and maybe you have a 10% rate of revisit after initial installation, and you can lower that to 2% of revisits, so you gain 8%, but maybe at a cost of 100 euros per home, you will save 40 million euros. So that's a good quantity of money.
What are the key characteristics of a data platform that's going to be scalable, adaptable, flexible, in your mind?
Yeah, so I think that if you look at smart metering as the initial case, having an independent layer that is agnostic to the meter types that you want to roll out, agnostic to the brands, agnostic to the protocols that they use, agnostic to the communication infrastructure and so on. This will give the utilities or the DSOs that roll out the flexibility to choose whatever technology or vendor or brand that they want. So in terms of future-proofness, this is something that you really want to do, because you're not sure if a vendor that is having technology that is capable for your business needs today will have technology available for you tomorrow. So you have to really be adaptable and flexible with that infrastructure. And I think that from a platform perspective, you have the let's say the difficult task to be able to operate with all these different vendors and different protocols and so on. Because if you roll out technology from today, you roll out a certain quantity, right? But your business needs will change, your functional needs on the devices will change, communication needs will change, standards will change. Certainly, your security requirements will change. That's a continuous effort. So all these kind of factors will drive that you will roll out a new technology tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow again a new one. So this is a continuous effort, but certainly with equipment that is going to be installed in homes like smart meters, but also other equipment like batteries and heat pumps and so on. They will sit there for 15 years, and you're not easily going to replace them if they get outdated. So you will find yourself with a very complex situation where you have to support the current devices of the technology of today, but you still have to support large quantities of all the technologies. So this is one of the real challenges that we've seen happening in the smart meter world, and I think that will happen also in the smart homes arena, if you will.
So if someone's watching this interview and they're thinking, I'm actually locked in to my provider, but I'm aware that I'm going to have to add additional devices and offer new services. What is your what kind of solution can Netinium offer?
Yeah, so the traditional way of doing this kind of stuff is that you buy equipment from a hardware vendor and you include that head-end system of them into your IT infrastructure. There are so much hidden costs with it that I can't even start trying to explain those hidden costs. So by having an independent layer which is not tied to a particular vendor, but that allow you to have all these different vendors, it will enable you to, for instance, unify your operational processes for managing all those devices. You have to do device management, configuration management, security management, network management, all these kind of things you have to do irrespective of the type of brands that you do. Better yet, you not only have to do those kind of actions, you want to automate the processes that you do as much as possible. And what I told you, the example that I gave before about the installation, if you really can automate the installation process, then you can take out the human error there as much as you can. So that will save you that 8%. And the same goes for things like firmware update processes or security key management. These kind of processes can all be automated, and that will really lower your operational expenses. So us as a platform provider, we will focus on trying to lower all these kind of costs for our customers, because that's the value that we bring with our platform. And we don't care what kind of devices sit below our platform, we will still make it happen.
So if you do have a proprietary system, is it still possible to add the data layer underneath and then be free to add on other parts?
Yeah, so of course there are always parties that think it's difficult to that will guard or protect their IP and don't want to open up their IP, which is logical. I respect that. And then of course you have situations where you have, if you want to use those devices, you have to utilize their head-end systems or whatever. But we have a track record of more than 20 years now in the smart meter world. We have built trusted relations with most of the major meter manufacturers, and up to now we've always treated them with the let's say the biggest respect in terms of how we protect their IP. And we will, if we do one thing with one vendor, we will certainly make sure that none of that will get ever to another vendor. And that's something that we have done over the past 20 years with all these innovations and iterations of all these innovations that we've done.
So the clear message is you need a platform that's going to be, you can scale, that is open to various technology, and it will give you flexibility. I mean, how is that going to prepare the DSO for the future ahead, for the transformation ahead?
Yeah, I come up with two examples again, because I mean that's the best way to explain this kind of things. We've seen, for instance, we have one of our large customers is Alliander. It's the largest DSO in the Netherlands. We've rolled out 2.4 million meters now today, and we will hit probably the 6 million meters in 2020. Over the past 10 years, they have changed communications infrastructures at least 3 times now. We're starting with PLC, going into GPRS, and now CDMA. But we already see 5G and NB-IoT on the horizon. So they know that they will have to change. So they need an adaptable platform that will allow them to go into that future. And the other thing that we've seen is a different use of the platform, different from what we anticipated. So if you would roll out meters and you hit a certain quantity, you would expect a certain amount of data rate from those meters. But what we've seen now is that once the rollout hits a critical mass in the market, suddenly people and other parties realize there is value in that data, and they want to request more from that data. So suddenly the data requests increase more than you expect. And actually, that's not only on the, let's say, on the billing side or the customer information side, but it's also on the DSO side, where suddenly the DSO realizes that if they tap into the power quality data from a smart meter, suddenly if they can really analyze what's going on with their low voltage grid. So they see things that they have never seen before. Suddenly they find their GIS system that will tell them where there are cables. Suddenly they find cables on a different place, or dead end cables, or whatever. They can find failures before they occur. So there's a big boon in it for DSOs as well. But that puts another stress on the system that wasn't anticipated. So it's not only scalable in terms of the amount of devices that you have to support. It's also scalable about the different type of devices, not only smart meters, but maybe also other equipment like batteries and solar and so on. And then you have the data scale. You also have to support that scale of data. And the more devices that we connect with it, and the more different devices that we connect with it, that will even more drastically change the need for that data. So hence the use cases of the data and the scale of the data that we want to utilize.
So the business case is clear, the use cases we know some, but who knows, in a few years time.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? I mean, you don't know the future, but you want to make sure that what we have today, that you can carry that forward for the next 20 years. This kind of platforms will sit there today, and they will sit there in 20 years' time. And with Alliander as one of our customers, we have seen changes. I mean, we have had 3 CEOs in the meantime. We had a number of program directors for smart metering, and we have tens of different project managers. And they're all gone.
But the technology,
but the technology is still there.
Still there. Ferry, thank you for your insights. Thank you for joining us.
It was my pleasure. Thank you very much.
That's all from the Engerati studio. You can watch plenty more of our videos on the YouTube channel. Goodbye for now.